I have these friends, Dan and Sheila. They're podcast hosts.
Welcome to Profiling Criminal Minds. I'm Dan.
And I'm Dr. Redmond.
And we are back for a look back at the new season of Criminal Minds. That's right, we've watched all of the episodes a second time. So we, barreled through them, watching them one after another. So they would be fresh in our head. Now you might say, that's not the intention of how people are supposed to watch television. I'm like, we live in the present day. That's how everybody watches everything. It's fine.
Well, no, it's not that. It's
some shows, I think it's fair to say, are aided by you having a week off between episodes. Is that a fair way to describe it?
Yeah, and that's why
it definitely happened
different than streaming.
Exactly.
And
that's why television is different than streaming, because you can get away with more if people haven't seen the last episode for a week.
Yeah, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because they would take breaks. And
that's true. They would take breaks, they would do hiatuses. That's true. But, generally in this day and age, all television that we watch, we expect any 12-episode TV show to air 10 or 12 episodes, to air that many episodes just directly in a row. I think that's fair to say.
Well, I'm not sure. People are willing to watch, for example, Reacher only goes up one episode a week.
That's what I just
said. But what we end up doing, what had happened is that often, and you did this with Andor.
I did. Waited for it to be done.
Waited for it to be done, so I had to tell you when it was done. It was done, Daniel. Go watch it now.
I know.
And it was, and it is a very different experience. And I think there are two problems that we have, and we're going to talk about this specifically. But first of all, that is probably some of it, right? When you watch it back to back, like that's all I did yesterday.
Yeah. You just watched the whole season.
I just watched the whole season.
That's exactly what I did.
But that's it. And it is very different than watching it week to week, because you're waiting for the next big thing, right?
Yep.
So
it is different. Theorize, you have time to think about it. You have time to reflect, but like just engaging with plot is a very different experience.
Not just plot. There were all sorts of things, right? That became clearer when you watch it back to back.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you forget details.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, right, that of course we were not in the correct frame of mind. I had given myself,
fair to say.
Yeah. Till my son's, what would have been my son's 50th birthday.
Yeah.
To finally start to try and pull myself together. I'm taking a micro-credential course. And I'm preparing for the hell that's going to let loose in September at our university, in terms of they've changed the learning management system, and it's going to be a nightmare. So I have to start preparing myself for all of that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's a whole bunch. I'm not going to talk about that, but I had to, so I gave myself till July.
Yeah.
July 4th. So we were always the whole season
dealing with a lot of emotional stuff while the season was going on.
The only thing I can say is that there were things I picked up watching it this time that I'm going, why didn't I see that
the first time? Yeah.
Or I can remember there's one specific thing that I'm going, yeah, well, if I had gone back, like I said, I wasn't going to go back and check.
Yeah.
But if I had gone back and checked, I was right.
Yeah, you were completely right.
I was completely right. There are other little things that now get to me. So it is, I don't know how we're going to deal with
Format
this. We're going to talk, I think, first about an issue that is endemic to the entire season, that is very problematic for at least one of our viewers.
We did get a message about this. And it made me think about it for the first time, really.
Well, yeah, but it's not there in the first and second seasons.
No, it's there, but it's not as bad
It's
as it is now.
It's not as bad. And the
It
reader,
would be dishonest to say it wasn't there. It is
Yes.
worse now than it was.
it is worse. Yes, it is much worse because it's not limited. It's everybody's doing it. And it's not just limited to the whoever, the masculinized world.
Yeah.
What happens is that one of our readers sent us a long email. I have not responded yet to
You
emails.
are responding. That's what's happening right
I
now.
will be starting. Now I'm doing it on
No, what
air.
I'm saying is literally what we are doing right now is the response.
Yeah. And this particular person, I don't know whether I can't remember male
Not
or
important.
female. Not important. This person, I mean, I can only think that she thinks that somehow or another we can have an impact on this because we know Breen.
Because we have had an impact on the show in the past.
Her little things, Dr. Weisberg, for example.
Yes, Dr.
But anyway,
showing up. Yeah. Yeah.
But she was upset. I'm saying she or he. They were upset.
Yes.
About the amount of swearing.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of noticed it after I got the email, but it became really obvious, particularly, of course, the F-bomb, which I tell my students is now feminism and not fuck, but, it actually detracted. Like, I do think that
from the
they have to
experience when you're watching it.
start carefully, because where it really was just, it was like everybody had to throw in fuck.
Yeah.
Or fucking.
It's almost as if, here's the thing.
Somebody had mandated that they had
X amount per episode.
Because it was really noticeable with Evan when he did it at one point. And I'm going, okay, am I watching? Am I watching a B movie? I've just been introduced to this character, right? And I still feel like he's not the kind of guy who's just going to be swearing constantly. It's not the vibe I got from him. Yeah, not swearing at all. I mean, this is not a guy, and then all of a sudden he's saying something. It's after the hospital.
Yeah.
Right? And we could talk about Evan. I don't think he's drawn very well.
We're going to talk about Evan in a bit.
But the swearing issue, that really grated. I mean, and I'm not sure that, there's Emily saying it. There's Rossi saying it. Like, you can actually go through every episode and all these people. I'm not sure if Luke says it. I'd have to go.
Luke
or Dr. Ochoa.
Now that I think Dr. Ochoa probably doesn't, but basically everybody else other than Luke and probably Dr.
And it
Ochoa
is, this reader was definitely right to call it out.
Yeah.
And as I said, there are other things that we're going to end up calling out.
It's not like we're against the concept of swearing.
No.
I just watched Uncut Gems, okay, which is I was about to say a delightful movie. It's not. It's a rough watch, but like all movies about degenerate gamblers, it's incredibly compelling. But it's like, in this world of sports books and gem sales and loan sharks, there's going to be a lot of swearing. It makes sense. In the world of professionals trying to solve crimes and dealing with human tragedy, I don't know that we need this much swearing.
This is the FBI. And if I do not think, you see, they are the FBI, and I don't think Spencer Reid ever said a swear word in the entire 15-year run.
Well, of course not. First off, it was on CBS. So of course he didn't swear.
Well, no, but that doesn't matter, because they are still, they are the same people supposedly that were in that first 15 years.
Oh no, I agree.
And how all of a sudden, so Donald Trump has infected the BAU and now they're swearing all the time? I mean, what kind of a...
Well, no, I mean, it's Kash Patel's FBI now, man. Like, it's a different culture.
Yeah, so now they can, I mean, because that's about the only explanation I've got for it.
Yeah.
Because it is, No, they're professionals.
They're professional. They're not like,
and
yes, there is a degree to which Donald Trump has coarsened American discourse because he's a coarse, unpleasant, inarticulate person. So of course the discourse around him, because you have to constantly be seeing his words in public, is going to coarsen. That doesn't mean professionals need to coarsen in the same way. And you are right to call it out. Our listener was right to call it out, and I wholeheartedly agree with you that it's something they should look into dialing back.
It was jarring.
It was jarring,
actually jarring.
Of swearing, yeah,
coming out of David Rossi's mouth.
Yeah, and it's like,
and I'm not like I can understand once in a while, but everybody is.
Time. You're not making David Mamet anymore, Joe.
Well, I don't think it was Joe. I think it was written.
I was making a joke about the fact that he was from David Mamet, and I think it was a good joke.
Yes, okay. Well, no, I mean, in Reservoir Dogs, okay.
Yeah, fine. Again, our beloved Goodfellas, sure, but that's not the world these people live in. These are professionals. These people all have college degrees. These people, you really do feel like there should be some elevation of the language. These are professionals doing a very professional job, and an occasional exclamation or utterance would be understandable, but they are all swearing incredibly casually.
Yeah, and then that means that it has no impact whatsoever.
Exactly.
It just coarsens the whole thing, and it has no impact.
Yes.
Because if somebody is really, really pissed off, and all of a sudden,
no longer have the language to express that, because
and they say
been swearing all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I've heard Luke maybe at some point.
Maybe once or twice.
Not in this season necessarily.
Yeah,
like
across
I'm trying
the 3
to
seasons.
think back.
Yeah.
Yeah, across, but
this
it
is
was
probably something I'm going to check.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably something I'm going to check.
It's just, it's a fascinating sort of thing. And if I don't know if I would have noticed it if this reader hadn't brought it up, because we've gotten so used to it. And but I'm watching, I watch all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Right? All sorts. And yes, okay. Nobody swears in the Jeffrey Donovan, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, because it's not a
series.
Cable show. It's FX.
Yeah, I know it's not a cable.
Yeah,
but
it's
just
USA Network. It's not an FX. It's a USA show. It's not an FX show.
That's right. It's a USA show. And here's the thing.
The show is called Burn Notice and is very
Thank you.
silly.
Burn
and
Notice.
We love it.
Yeah, I just started watching it again, but and not even in Lucifer.
Well,
it was a CBS or
they
ABC.
swear a little in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
People start swearing in those last 2 seasons, but still not that much.
No.
It doesn't overtake the dialogue the way it has had a tendency to on Criminal Minds. I'm not going to disagree with that.
It's just like in casual conversation. Well, yeah, as I said, so what expletive are you going to use when you're really pissed off?
Well, and that is
or
the problem.
Or is this supposed to be pissed off that you're pissed off all the time?
Yeah. And are we supposed to believe that these characters are just at the highest possible level of fury 24/7? It doesn't
because even
seem
JJ.
Right. Yeah.
It is not.
Agree. Even JJ is swearing all the time now. And it feels real weird coming out of JJ.
Yes. And it just reminds me sometimes, like I watch, like you watch the B movies. I was talking about this and just to compare it, B's and C movies, right? Yeah. Those lower levels where they're trying to show that somebody is a real asshole.
Their attempted verisimilitude is always just, let's just have them swear a lot.
Just have them swear a lot. And it's just like, to me, it's bad dialogue, and you've written some of it. Because that's you write on demand.
Yeah, I write on demand. I write for what people want.
Yeah.
But generally, there's not that much swearing in the stuff I write. As a general rule. No, I try not to.
But it's left. And I think
you need the language to be there exceptionally.
Yeah. And this was the thing that I can still remember that this one thing that I watched in this character. I mean, he was every second word. And I'm just going, okay, yeah, we know you're a badass. What the hell? You think that this is gonna, and you're gonna get everybody angry.
Tarantino did a lot of damage to screenwriters' ideas of how people should talk.
Yeah, and people don't usually talk like that.
No, most it is stylized. That's the point. It's stylized conversation. But the thing is, not every show needs that kind of stylized conversation. You know, it doesn't fit in every show. And
it's
this...
not...
I think you and I can agree, and definitely at least one of our listeners agrees, that maybe this shouldn't be one of the shows where they try to cram it in.
Yeah, I mean, I can fully understand you can go places that you never could, the graphic violence and the rest of it. I mean, it was easy I could skim through the parts that were, I did
too brutal for you, yeah.
Well, it was too brutal, and I just don't need to see it again. I'll watch it first time, but if I don't need to see it again. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it has become that hallmark. But so I'm not going to complain about that. But yeah, it was, and it really grated when it came out of Evan's mouth.
Yeah.
After he had broken his arm or whatever. I don't know what he said.
But yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't then. It was after it had all been healed and he was sitting talking and he said something. And I'm just going, okay.
It just doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like it's coming from the characters. It feels like it's coming from the writers, and that's not good writing. I agree completely. Yeah. So if we have one request for next season, it's, hey, maybe let's swear. Dial back the swearing a little. Maybe save it for when it's a, really intense emotional situation. We're not saying no swearing. We're saying, dial it back. Maybe we don't need swearing in every episode.
Or in every character.
Well, look at our beloved, and I mean, it's a perfect example. Look at our beloved Breaking Bad. Yeah. Jesse is the kind of person who swears a lot. Because that's the kind of person, and it helps establish his character. Very few other characters in that show are swearing all the time. Pretty much only Jesse swears all the time. So it's meaningful if somebody else swears. And you can use that kind of language to establish the kind of person Jesse is. But if everybody's swearing all the time, it no longer serves to establish the kind of person Jesse is.
Yeah. And it's funny because I went back a long, long time ago. I was having an argument. I must have been with one of my parents, probably my dad. I was having an argument and I started to swear. And my father, who can swear, who could, if it was necessary, just looked at me and says, well, if you can't explain yourself without swearing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
Ever since then.
You may hear me swearing. Yeah. You then, why are you talking? Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Now, do we swear here on the show? We do. Do we swear periodically? That much?
Yeah.
Not that much. Do I swear in real life? Basically, no.
No. I mean, why would I?
Yeah, I'm never really in a position where I would have to swear. I mean, do I do it for comedic effect from time to time? Yeah, but that's because, you can get comedic effect out of it when you're someone who almost never swears.
And then you can always swear in French.
Swearing in French. The ultimate tool of the Canadian.
Yes.
French oaths, as we call them.
Yes.
French oaths. So yeah, I mean, it's as much a request as an observation. But yeah, it is weird. We feel like the impact that the ability to swear had is wearing off. And now it is just grating because it removes the power of the swear. So they're not having the intended effect. And because everyone's doing it, you can't use the swearing to establish character.
It's funny because it is what this listener said, right?
Sorry for doing that.
She says it was just too much this season.
Yeah, it is too much this season. I'm going to completely agree with you on that front. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Once you watch it one episode after another without stopping.
Exactly. All right. So look forward to me having a video up soon, counting the number of swears in the last 3 seasons of Criminal Minds.
Season 1, season 2. Maybe we're dead wrong.
Maybe we're dead wrong. Maybe this season actually had the least swearing, but it's certainly grated this year in a way that it hasn't in the past.
Yeah.
All right. Next issue. Go. She's got a list of issues.
Well, I don't know. Okay. So let's talk about our disciple.
Yes.
Shall we do that? Okay.
Please.
So number 1.
Yeah.
They say she's 20.
Yes.
Okay. They say she's 20. Excuse me. She's doing a PhD.
Yeah, she
in
should have been
mechanical
22,
engineering.
23 at the
Or more.
youngest. I said at the youngest.
At the youngest.
Yeah.
She's older.
It's insane to be 20 and working your PhD. That's madness.
I mean, it happens periodically.
Once in a blue moon. This ain't Sheldon Cooper.
No. Yeah. We've got savants out there.
Yeah.
But this woman was, and if she had been a savant,
a lot of decisions she don't make a ton of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And, so that was one of those things. Plus, she calls him Elias.
Yeah.
At 44 minutes.
Right.
In episode 10 again, like at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm just going, that's still something that I would say, why is she calling him?
She should be calling him. Well, if her origin of if the entire point is the origin, all these stories she's been told by Cyrus, the fact that she was brought in as a replacement, the fact that Cyrus, missed him, fundamentally, she should only think of him as Lee Duvall.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
And so just to bring that up.
I think that's true.
Yeah. So I've got that, the PhD, and then there's other things we should talk more about.
She could have just been going for her master's. It didn't have to be a PhD. She still could have been a graduate student, with an advisor. That still works if she's just going for a PhD. Yeah. Make her 24. It's fine. Make her 25.
Yeah. It wouldn't matter.
She doesn't look 24. She doesn't look 25 any more than she looks 20. So you're free to say whatever age you want for the character.
Yeah. Well, no. And that the thing is that for us, when we're talking about this age discrepancy thing,
yeah,
the fact is she looks older than 20. Okay. But I could buy her at 26 or 27.
If you had told me she was a 28-year-old graduate student, I would have completely accepted that actress. No question whatsoever.
Yeah. But it was, and then, she changed her hair and everything else.
Yeah, of course.
So that's fine. These are all little things that we're talking about.
Yeah, of course.
We're
looking at the season in review. That's what this episode is.
Yeah.
For.
And then the thing I was right about is that this business of the shooter hesitating.
That didn't happen. Yeah, we went back and we checked. We played the tape and so the entire idea that Evan was involved in the conspiracy in episode 8 is built around a videotape we see where Tara is shot twice and then the killer turns his aim towards Evan and then hesitates and they look at each other and then he shoots him in the shoulder. We went back and we watched episode 7 and there are 3 shots in 2 seconds there and they are evenly spaced. He shoots
bang,
bang, bang, bang at exactly that speed. He shoots Tara twice and then he shoots the guy in the shoulder. There is no hesitation. There is no pause whatsoever.
Yeah.
So because they try to get away with something. They try to lie to us. It didn't happen.
Yeah. And the other thing is that this business of looking for Evan's DNA, he's a DOJ lawyer. Yeah. Doesn't he have his DNA in the system?
He might not. That's the thing. I don't know if you necessarily have to put DNA in the system. No, actually, a good explanation for that is I was about to. Okay, now I look like a clown because I was about to say, well, if it's in the system, they might have to get a warrant. But it's like, no, Penelope violates people's HIPAA rights all the time. They wouldn't have to do that. But yeah, they're like, we get it off a piece of paper. I don't know if you have to have your DNA as part of a security check these days. Obviously, his fingerprints are on file. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But I have no idea if your DNA has to be on file. That's
anyway,
I don't know if it's realistic.
It's a question.
But they
it's
get
just
it off
a
piece of paper. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Yeah. So no, it did, but it was just a little thing that came up.
Oh, I agree. It is weird that they wouldn't, but I don't know if that's actually an issue because I don't know what the rules for security clearances are now. Like, obviously, retinal scans, sure, they can ask for your retinas, they can ask for your fingerprints. I don't think they can ask for your DNA yet, no matter what job you have.
Okay.
I think there still might be a line there.
And now I'm going, and I
What?
don't know what episode. Oh, yeah, it was episode 9. And remember, at the beginning of episode 9, they all get these text messages.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of sitting there going, why did Dr. Ochoa get one? As well, about Tara being shot. I just...
She got one of the text messages about Tara getting shot? And it's the beginning of episode 8, not
it's
episode
all
9.
at the beginning.
I had forgotten. You're right. She did, didn't she? Okay,
she got a message.
Why would she get a message? Yeah, that doesn't actually make sense. You're absolutely right to
like I'm going,
that one.
Okay. They're not important. It's just all of a sudden.
It's weird. No, I mean,
we're back.
We're here to nitpick. It's fine.
Nitpick and we're back, right?
Exactly. This is my point.
Yeah,
I think we're allowed to.
Okay. And,
yeah, I hadn't thought about that. You're absolutely right. That is weird.
Oh, here's something in episode 3.
Please.
Okay. This one is Elias, Lee, whatever you want to call it, has one of these breakdowns. It's at, I don't know, 32 minutes or something. But he has this breakdown and he's having these nightmares.
Yeah.
And he talks about having, having these nightmares about a fire or, nightmare dreams, whatever, about a fire, and he's trying to save people and he can't save people.
And yet they're all sure that he murdered his parents and not that it was an accident or something. Yeah, I know. That really pissed me off this time. They're all 100% sure he murdered his parents. And they've always been 100% sure he murdered his parents. And I have no idea why. When the purest version of him now thinks that, like, when he was a kid, he tried to save his parents. So
yeah,
I think 50-50 it's an accident or Cyrus was responsible for it, but I don't think he murdered his parents.
No, you see, yeah, if we're going to accept that this is a changed Lee and I'm going to get on the bandwagon, I'm sorry. Now you're getting the reality of Lee when he had empathy before Cyrus took him in.
Yep.
Right? And did all the damage that he did.
All the brain damage that knocked the empathy out of him, because that's what the linebacker comment suggests, that he was physically abused and brain damaged into lacking empathy.
Yeah,
why is the linebacker comment there if that's not the case? No, I think they got to give up the idea that he murdered his parents.
Yeah,
I don't think it's plausible.
As I said, from the beginning, I've always said, well, there are other possibilities here, and I don't necessarily buy that. It doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
And given what Cyrus does to manipulate people.
Yeah. Look what he did to this other woman who did not murder her parents, who had her parents get murdered by him.
Yeah.
Like, it's entirely likely. But yeah, they remain weirdly certain that he murdered his parents based on, and I can't stress this part enough, nothing.
We've gone through all the reports, and I've read the reports, and it's clear that he murdered his parents.
Is it though?
I don't know. I'm not saying, particularly since Lee is having nightmares about trying to save
people from a fire and being trapped in a fire. Yep.
And that's the only time he was trapped in a fire.
Exactly. The only connection this character has to fire is when his house burned down when he was a kid. So, and if you wanted to say it was an accident, like that episode of, we loved of Profiler.
Yeah.
You could even get away with that. But I think they have to, the team's really got to get over the idea that he murdered his parents.
Yeah.
They seem certain of it, and it's like, it doesn't seem to be based on anything.
What they want to do. See, here's the thing that is so bizarre.
Please.
Is that they want to do this because they want, for whatever reason, But this goes back to their inability to figure out whether serial killers
Born or
are made or
yeah.
whether they're born.
That's true.
This is the first instance. Well, this with Cyrus, this is this instance of, excuse me, make up your friggin' mind. At least Profiler knew.
Yep. It had
for one episode.
Except for one real not great episode.
Yeah.
Real bad episode starring
In
a little
4 years.
David Carradine.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like, again, you can fix that episode, no problem.
Yeah. Don't, we're not going to go there.
We're not going to go into it.
I think we probably already did it and you'll hear it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're listening to the Profiler episodes.
Yeah. No, we're not going to talk about it here. But yeah, like they had one time they got confused about whether criminal people were born or made. Right? One time they did it. But they were 100% clear that it's like, no, like there's no such thing as being born bad. There's no such thing as being born a killer. And
but that's because they're doing this neurology thing, and they talk about how, well, they can tell when children are very young. Well, yes, because those children have been abused right from the get-go. But we're,
absolutely.
You know,
and again, you wonder why every rich person seems to be a psychopath. I'm going to tell you something about rich people. They didn't get any attention when they were kids. None of them were raised by their parents, and the people who were in charge of feeding them couldn't care less about what happened to those kids. They were treated like objects from the time they were children, and now they treat everybody like objects, because that's how they were treated. Why is every rich person a psychopath? There, I just explained it to you.
Yes, well, never mind. We're not going to go down that road. We've done it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And if people want to hear us bitching and complaining about this in Criminal Minds, and I mean, just go listen to our wrap up of the entire first 15 seasons.
Yeah.
And this is an instant again, like, why are they so freaking convinced that somehow or another, because this is, I can see Cyrus doing it's in the blood.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see him convincing Lee that it's in the blood.
Yeah.
And convincing Tessa that it's in the blood.
Oh, yeah. Because
I can see him because he did.
Why do these people all agree with an insane serial killer?
With Cyrus. They're all agreeing with Cyrus.
Oh, yeah. No. I think that's like the idea that all of our characters are like, this insane hillbilly serial killer really seems to be making some good points. I'm like, no, he's not, though. He's not making good points.
I mean, you know who Cyrus was.
Yeah.
And what he did to people.
Yep.
And you sitting there.
How he transformed this child into a monster.
Yes.
And you're sitting there saying, maybe he had some good points. And maybe this kid was born bad.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? No, obviously. Yeah. It's the one time they've seemed to have been really confused.
Well, for this,
and it's in
these 3 seasons.
Yes, in these 3 seasons. No, obviously, it has been an issue the entire history of the show, but I'm talking about it in these 3 seasons
because we haven't had to complain about it except for this business with Cyrus and Lee.
This is the only time it's come up for a reason. They've been very clear-eyed right up until this Lee stuff and their obsession with saying, and again, this is not a, Lee Duvall did nothing wrong type of situation. We're not trying to forgive him or explain or saying he had no responsibility for his actions. That is obviously not the case. But we are saying he was made the way he is. He wasn't born the way he is.
And what's really weird is we'll talk, I think we can talk about that end scene.
I will say one thing that I did appreciate.
Yeah.
At least they say, so-and-so started that way when he murdered his abusive parents.
Yes.
They go out of their way say,
well, this is what I mean.
Murdered because they're admitting, right, that you can't just he would have already had to be a monstrously abused child to go out of his way to kill his parents. But I mean, I agree with you. I think it's more interesting if whether he was abused or not, he was not responsible for that death, and he was transformed into thinking he was by Cyrus.
Yeah, that can be the only thing. And he actually told Tessa the truth.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a more compelling angle. It just is.
And it might be because Cyrus, and we do know because Lee earlier on, at least in the first season there, he's talking about Cyrus or whatever, somehow or another, they're talking about Cyrus.
Yeah.
And it's that he didn't really know his Uncle Cyrus, and his Uncle Cyrus wasn't involved in his life at all with the parents. Well, there had to be a reason that he was taken away from Cyrus and given then to the parent.
If he is, in fact,
that makes as much sense. If he is actually Cyrus's biological child.
Which is possible.
But he would have been taken away. Lee would have been taken away and given to the other living relatives.
Yeah. Cyrus's sister.
And then Cyrus wants him back.
Mm-hmm.
And kills off his sister and brother-in-law, or brother and sister-in-law.
Well, I think they have different last names, so that would make him the sisters.
Yeah. But whatever, right?
Yeah, it's Cyrus Lebrun and Lee Duval. So it would be the sister's brother. Just name-wise.
Yes, and of French stock.
Yeah, they're all of French stock, actually. Yeah. That's interesting, but I hadn't thought about it. You're right. They're all of French stock, yeah.
Yeah.
See, they're allowed to swear. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, it is a continuing thing on the show because it's weird because we hear to have the team completely dismiss the idea that this horrible monster, Cyrus Lebrun, could have been responsible for the death of Lee's parents.
Yeah.
Like, they just immediately dismiss that possibility. We had an alibi for that night. Okay? Because nobody's ever lied about an alibi. Nobody's ever gotten someone to lie for them. A thing that also happened with Tessa.
Yeah.
Remember how he had people to lie about his alibi when he was suspected of killing Maria and someone else went to death row for it? I kind of feel like maybe that's something that could have happened more than once, guys.
Yeah, you didn't think this through. Maybe you got more rush to do this season, but
they're all of the characters are so certain. And I know that it's like we're tilting at windmills here because the writers are in control of whether Lee killed his parents or not. And I'm not pretending they're not. I'm just saying all of the evidence put in the characters' faces points in one direction, and that is that Cyrus was more than likely in some way responsible for those people's deaths. All of the evidence seems to point that way, and they don't acknowledge it as a possibility.
Okay, and have they not ever read sloppy reports before?
I know!
Well, I read the report, and the report's clear. Well, yeah, you think the fire department and the police department, and it's just a kid.
By the way, if it had been, had it been super clear that the child set that fire, he would have gone into the system.
Yeah.
They don't give children a pass when they set a fire that kills their family, unless they're rich, which these people were very much not.
Yep.
You don't get a pass for killing your family in a fire if you're 7 years old or 8 years old. Like, you go into the system. It's part of your file, and that wasn't in the file, so there you go. No, the idea that they can 100% say he definitely, all of their profile around him seems to be based on the idea that he was definitely born bad and killed his parents. And again, we've been fighting this for years now.
Well, 3 years.
3 years we've been fighting this idea because it just doesn't make sense.
No, and as I said, it goes to their inconsistency. They're less inconsistent now.
Oh yeah, much less inconsistent now.
But
it's still there.
But it's still there.
Especially with I know it's a weird thing, the Undertaker, right?
Yeah.
The Gravedigger, is it Undertaker? No, it's Undertaker. Because they acknowledge that it's like someone doesn't have to go through all of this childhood, all of the serial killer dark triad childhood stuff to become an absolute monster. Like, no, this guy is just has been raised in a culture of misogyny and entitlement for men and become a real dirtbag about it.
Yeah.
You know, he was never going to, right? He would never have like become the kind of guy who was murdering sex workers and picking them up. But because he wound up in a situation where he decided he had a problem with the custody system and paying alimony, he found a bunch of people who red-pilled him into, you know, murder, which, by the way, is a thing that happens. Like, guys kill their families over friggin' custody arrangements. I'm not going to say all the time, but not all the time. Like, that guy is a completely believable character, just being this weak, misogynist scumbag. And
yeah.
Yeah, like, I know it's too familiar, right?
Jeez.
The amount of guys who, I'm going to say it, family annihilate over stuff like this. If you would like someone to use the correct definition of family annihilator. You know.
Yeah, because I'm not going to relitigate the other things that we have managed to complain about during this season.
No, of course not. That was just a drive-by, believe me.
Yeah, that was just a drive-by, and I appreciated it as I was watching it. I mean,
Please.
And I can't understand. Like, they're sitting, and they feel sorry for Cyrus. I still have I have watched 3 seasons now, and I cannot find it in me to feel sorry. I can feel sorry for Lee, who, as a child, ended up in custody of this brutal man.
Who turned him into a monster.
Okay. But he was the monster.
Yeah, he became a monster. Yeah.
And as we would say at the end, you're just going, okay, I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter. I just can't. I mean, I know everybody likes Zach Gilford. But
Zach Gilford, who, by the way, in case it wasn't clear from everything we've said, when I rewatched it, he does an incredible job.
Incredible. Okay, once you know where they're going.
Now that you're not looking for clues that he's secretly a mastermind, now that you can just appreciate the journey he goes on of like being a man rebuilding his personality over the course of 8 episodes, right?
Yeah. It's
amazing what he does.
No, I mean, as an actor, I mean, this is a tour de force. I think we've said it before.
Yeah. It is. It's a tour de force performance he puts in this year.
Yeah.
It's incredible to watch.
Yeah. It really was. As I said, I don't have really complaints about.
Now that you're not trying to get ahead of the episode and outsmart the episode, and you're just appreciating
or trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And I will say that there was one spot. And I can't think of, like, I was trying, because we were talking about introducing her, and I will say it wouldn't have been a minor fix to fix this season.
No.
It would, after watching all 10 episodes, I'm going, no, it would have been a major shift, because to have introduced her as one of the zookeepers, that meant that she had, all of that sort of stuff. Like I was thinking more in terms as I was watching it. Okay, well, where could you fit her in?
No, watched it. I'm going to disagree with you here, because I think it actually would have been very simple. What you do is in episode 2, in addition to the thing he's playing with, there is a girl in a box that he keeps that he says he's keeping in a box in the back room, and he calls her his special project for whatever reason, right?
Okay.
And at the end of the episode, they rescue this girl in the box. That's Tessa, right? So introduce her there, and right at the end of the episode, she's like, how do I go back? And they're like, well, we've got treatment, we've got support, and she thanks them and she goes away. So then, episode 5-ish, right? They're going and they've found out about this whole disciple thing, and they're like, well, Tessa was held the longest of any of them, so maybe she overheard the zookeeper talking about it. So they bring Tessa back in to ask her about the thing and get her to sit down with Voight. And so we do a scene with her and Voight, and we see, and they categorize her as being terrified of Voight, right? Just instinctually, because she knows that he was the one responsible for all of this. And it's like, and, you know, they take it as stuff she heard about the disciple, and she would give them a clue about the disciple based on stuff she overheard, right? With the zookeeper. Then episode 7, we would have her get kidnapped along with the other people and the guy who gets spiders in his stomach, right? And then she would get rescued at the end of episode 7, and they'd be like, thank God. And then in episode 9, when they're trying to roll up all of the people for the Checkmate program, they would find her place, and her place would be trashed, and they'd be like, oh my God, I think they've already gotten to her. And then at the last shot of episode 9 would be the show revealing Tessa is the one who just shot everybody and is there to kidnap him and Dr. Ochoa, right?
Yeah.
And then boom, start of episode 10. Now here's Tessa's story. That's how it would have worked perfectly with that structure. And she would even explain that she went to the zookeeper, and as the disciple, as the guy in charge said, you know, told him, I want to witness, you know, what you're going, like, I want to see in practice. So just like, when you're bringing in this new woman, before you bring in this new woman, put me down there so I can see you in action. And he was such an arrogant guy who loves the attention that he would love to perform for her. Right. And this is the woman who helped him get set up as a serial killer and get the thingery going. So he would be happy to do it for her. I think it would all be completely consistent, and I think it would have worked perfectly.
Okay.
But yeah, watching it, I think it fits ideally.
After you watched it the second time.
I was watching it a second time thinking, and I was thinking in every episode, okay, where would I put Tessa? And the answer is 2, 5, 7, 9. That's where you fit Tessa, and it would have worked perfectly. And you only would have needed, 3-4 minutes an episode to do all of the stuff I'm talking about. And then since the whole last episode is about Tessa, you would have had a flashback. You could have had a flashback with her even talking to the zookeeper. It would have been nice. And I gotta say, like, watching it again though, they in no way believably establish that, like, Tessa could, because they tell us that whoever the disciple is has to be a Voight and Penelope level computer person.
Yeah.
And rewatching 10, I'm like, they in no way establish that. So they can still bring Mr. Scratch back.
No, and that's what I was thinking, so, but it would appear that, we're talking 2022, and so she doesn't have time to learn it. No, unless she was an absolute savant, because her computer skills were all wrapped up in engineering.
I'm really confused.
Statistics and all sorts of stuff.
When they announced that she was a PhD engineer, I'm like, oh, so that must have been the engineer they were talking about. But then I go watch the episode and it's like, no, Undertaker's saying the engineer's a man. Well, then who's the engineer they were talking about?
Yeah, we don't know who the engineer was.
Was it the nurse? Like, or are we just supposed to forget about that? Is the nurse the engineer? Like, it's very puzzling. I think they want us to think the nurse is the engineer, but that is massively convoluted when in the very next friggin' episode, you're like, oh, by the way, she was in a PhD in engineering. Well, then why did you introduce the concept of a character called the engineer if it wasn't going to be her, an PhD student in engineering?
In mechanical engineering to boot.
Engineering! The exact thing you need to do all the stuff we're told the engineer did. Yeah, that was puzzling, man. I was baffled by that part when I was rewatching. Like, man, just have her be the engineer, right? And all the computer stuff was done by a mysterious figure we never find out about. Psst, Mr. Scratch is back. Season 19, The Return of Scratch.
Yeah.
It's what America wants, okay? It's not me, man. It's what America wants.
I'm sorry.
Season 18, The Return of Scratch. There you go.
Season 19.
19, sorry. And by the way, like, I want to point out that the weird part is, you could the story, and I know they're not going to tell the story because they don't get political, but the story you could tell about there being a Mr. Scratch as the federal government is being, stripped for parts. Like that there's this malevolent guy at the NSA who now and then, by the way, and everyone who remembers that Mr. Scratch, because remember, he'd be working under a new name at the NSA. So imagine if Doge came in and fired everyone who remembered he was a serial killer. And then to Elon Musk's guys, he just like, oh man, you're an incredibly talented computer programmer with top clearance. And he's like, yes, I am. And I would love to work with you on this stuff. That'd be pretty good.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be a pretty good story they could do there. They're not going to, but because they don't get political. But it's like, it's just so funny because we were talking the other day about how insane it is to be making a show about the FBI at a time when the FBI is being run by two Adderall-addled podcasters, right?
I know, eh?
And then literally the week after we make these comments, the entire friggin' FBI blows up over the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
I couldn't. I mean, I still can't believe that.
The deputy director of the FBI, just stopped showing up for work. Because he's so pissed off that people are blaming him for Jeffrey Epstein. Like, that's the world we're in now.
Yeah, I know.
How do you make a show about the FBI and, in a world where the deputy director might the director might just go back to Vegas and hang out courtside at basketball games until the heat about Jeffrey Epstein dies down. I'm just saying.
I know
they're not doing this. This is a world in which Mr. Scratch could thrive.
No kidding.
We're very much. He wouldn't even need drugs to control people's minds anymore. He's the king of computers. Oh my God. We miss you, Mr. Scratch. We're being funny. But yeah, are there any other major issues on your list of issues?
No, nothing major other than what we're going to be, all the stuff we'll talk about.
Yeah.
So
now let's talk about the actual episode. Oh yeah, my major thing was, and this is a real major thing. The scene where Voight goes to see the brutal man, Ronald Garver, was as well done as all of Zach Gilford's scenes. The man is just incredible on this show.
Yeah.
Like, the work he's doing on this show is unbelievably good. At the end of that scene, Ronald Graber, the brutal man, starts hitting his head against a table. And it happens and the weird part is, the entire sequence where he starts hitting his head against the table is not taken seriously by any of the characters or the show. And here's the thing. Now, you haven't seen the film Longlegs. I don't even have to ask if you've seen I know you haven't seen the film Longlegs.
Because I would have brought it up if I had.
Exactly. Because we know they like to reference horror movies. Obviously, they like to reference horror movies. And in the movie Longlegs, after the character Longlegs has been captured, he smashes his head apart by smashing it into a table over and over again. And that's what they were referencing in that shot. But the problem is, the character Longlegs is literally possessed by the devil. A human being cannot smash their head against a table while handcuffed over and over again to, as we find out in episode 9, create brain death. No, you would knock yourself out long before you could do that kind of damage. And so and it's like, no one react. And the crazy part is, when you're watching it, none of the characters react like they should intervene over this guy hitting his head against a table. It's not treated as a serious thing he's doing. And so for the audience watching, it is not a serious thing we're watching. So the idea that we then later find out that he is brain dead in a comment, I'm like, that comes out of nowhere and is completely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. for sure. We're, as
And-
I said, we're back, guys.
I don't
Thank you.
understand, but I don't even understand why they said that.
No,
Like,
I
why-
don't know.
Like, because it doesn't change whether he's in jail or not. It doesn't change anything about the episode. So just they announce he's brain dead, a preposterous idea for no reason, because it's not like he had any information to offer. You know,
I know.
like they could have gone to him and say, "Who's the disciple?" And he would have been like, "I don't know what her. I don't know what her name
I don't
is.
know.
I don't know what her name is."
What do
Yeah.
I
have
know?
no information to offer you. You know, maybe they could have asked what she physically looked like. He would have said, "I never met her." You know,
I never. Yeah. Well, he
yeah.
wouldn't have. He probably would have said, "I never met him."
Yeah, because they only met on the computer. Here are the people who knew that the disciple was a woman. The nurse, who might also have been the engineer. Her henchmen in the factory. Maybe the henchmen who were in the truck. Maybe. But we don't know for sure.
No.
Like, we don't know for sure. What do you call it? But the fact that, like, the identity of the disciple was a closely held enough secret that, like, the Undertaker sure as hell didn't know. So I have to imagine that she was using cutouts for most of her conversations, and, like, until the actual checkmate procedure starts. I think other than the nurse, very few people, probably not even the guys who were doing the kidnapping in the trucks and stuff like that, probably not even they knew who she was. I would argue.
No,
because there would be no reason to reveal yourself.
No, and and because she was modifying some of what Voight had done.
Oh, absolutely.
As opposed to what Lee had done. But she had been modifying some of it, which, of course, the Elias does have to bring it up. Yes, it's appropriate and everything else, but there's got to be a little look. I set this up for a specific way.
Yeah.
Don't give me that crap.
I know.
And you screwed up.
What I did like that, I mean, it's like, it really would have made more sense, because they don't even make the clear implication that she was doing the computer stuff.
No.
They don't, like, even at the end, because he takes over the computer and she has no idea what he's doing with it.
No. So, it's the old, no, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah. And again, it's this weird situation where our fan fiction of Mr. Scratch is back would actually make more sense than the episode we're presented with.
Well, then
at the end,
see, because it's not the episode as such, it's the entire assumption
the conception of this character.
Yeah.
And the thing is, had we gotten the character, I don't think, and I would argue, right? Had we been presented with the character of Tessa the way, I mean, obviously she wouldn't be called Tessa when we met her, right? But
no.
I'm going to keep calling the character Tessa because we have to be clear about who we're talking about. Had we been introduced the character of Tessa the way I have laid out, I don't think you and I would have a single problem with the disciple storyline. But we would have been left at the end of it saying, how did she do all that computer stuff?
Yeah.
And it still would have been an unanswered question, and it would have been a really good opportunity for them to, like, bring back Mr. Scratch or say there's something else out there that we didn't like. We caught most of this. We've got all of his disciples. We've shut down the system. But how did she do
all
of this computer stuff that there's no reason to believe she would have any knowledge of or ability to do? And that would be this little hangnail, pushing at the back of your brain, making you wonder. And even if it wasn't Mr. Scratch returning, it would give them somewhere to go in the next season. The organization's dead. It's not coming back. But there was a guy who helped make sure all this happened. And what exactly is he up to? And how is he manipulating the government itself? That's an interesting idea.
Well, it could have been another woman even.
It could, yeah, but it's better if it's Mr. Scratch.
Yes, of course. I know you want it to be Mr. Scratch.
No, it's not that I want it to be. It's better if it's Mr. Scratch. Because it's, I mean, apart from my personal desire to see Mr. Scratch come back, I just think it's objectively a more interesting twist on the story. Oh my God, a hawk just flew by my window.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm on the 20th floor, so every now and then I see a very big birds going by, and it's pretty great. But yeah, I just think it would have been better. But we're not here to just talk about that.
No.
The storyline though, like the idea of the disciple is interesting. The depths to which like Lee was created by this man's monstrousness, I think they end up establishing it even better here than they did in Lee's flashback episode. You know, showing it through the eyes of another person, I think was a really great choice. I honestly believe our only problem, and by the way, we're right about this. You know, like you can say it's because we watched it episode by episode. You know, you could say that we were projecting the idea that it was structured like a mystery. Rewatching it, no, it's structured like a mystery.
Yeah.
And it is unfair that we only meet her in the last episode. Yeah, I was worried that I'm like, oh, I would watch it again and I would feel like the structure really wasn't there. No, it's structured like a mystery. We were cheated out of meeting her earlier.
Yeah, no,
you know,
it's yeah, I found the same thing that,
yeah,
you know, I mean, but I tell you, and I don't know, as I said to you, I said, sloppy. and I'm not sure, right, that it isn't because they did so brilliantly on the personal stuff.
Yeah, and they did. And now I think we can move on to the stuff we liked about this season. Is that fair? Is there anything else you want to criticize?
No.
Because I think I've got all my criticisms.
I think we've done forgetting
fairly
back
to
on
unfairly laid out all of our criticisms.
That's all you can say, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're ready to talk about the stuff we liked about the season. Which is some of the best character work they've ever done.
I mean, everything around.
Ever.
I mean, all I can say is that he keeps on giving.
Even
Stewart,
when we are emotionally,
Josh, yeah.
I know, the gift that keeps on giving, Josh Stewart. Them using a clip from they filmed 2 years ago to get him into the episode. But oh my God, and turned him, you know, fainting, which we would have found out about, you know, was just a side effect of the thing he was going through, turned it into his death scene. And I mean, retroactively, it works perfectly as a death scene. Everything, like the entire plot line around JJ.
Yeah.
The arc she goes through this season. And it's more powerful if you watch them all back to back.
Oh, yes, because then you see, you know, I mean, and everything that, here's the thing, everything that we could say was tainted maybe by our personal tragedy.
Yeah.
Now that we're like,
we're a little further, we're 4 months away, now that we're further away, now that it's not hitting us as hard emotionally. When we are watching it analytically the second time.
Yeah.
It's still just incredible.
It's unbelievable. It was just, and the scenes with Mrs. Lamontagne.
Linda
Lavin were just, I mean, I'm still going. I'm still on Linda Lavin's side. So that's all there is to it. I mean, that doesn't change for a lot of reasons.
Except for when she announces she's not going to the funeral.
Well, no, but she does show up.
No, she does show up, but it's like, that's going too far.
No, I don't.
Right that she needed to know.
Speaking as a mother.
No, announcing you're not going to a funeral.
Oh no, Dan. I understood it. I understood it perfectly. She backtracked. She did backtrack. She did say, okay. You know, and
we're definitely team Linda Lavin, like 100%.
You know, because throughout all of this, because even and because I thought, well, maybe I was being too, you know,
No, it's the way
And
the episode
then-
is done.
And what I ended up sort of just going is, no. I will
agree.
hold this, and ultimately it is personal as well.
Of course.
No, she should have been told, and JJ should have called her, and JJ should have told her no matter what Will said.
Yep.
And Linda Lavin is right in saying, what if this was your son?
Wouldn't you feel the right to know?
Don't
And
you
the
think
way
you have
JJ,
the right
again,
way?
completely consistent with how JJ has always
yes. I
been
don't
portrayed, utterly
Yes.
freaks out that, the thought of her losing her child. And it's like, yeah, the way you're freaking out, JJ, that's how Linda Lavin is feeling.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, right now. That you're feeling betrayed and horrified and hurt, that's what she's feeling.
Yeah.
And the fact that she goes through that, and the fact that she
Yep.
says, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not skipping this next case. I'm going to thrust myself into the darkness and take it out on somebody else. The way she did when she murdered the cryo killer.
Yep.
Right? But this time she is forced to face with the loss of, she is forced to face with, these families being shattered. It's not an easy villain like the cryo killer.
Yeah.
She's forced to face these families being brutalized, and she's forced to go to therapy.
Yeah.
But when she comes to Voight and says that essentially he doesn't get to die, she is going to make sure he suffers so she can take everything out on him. She's going to take all of her anger out on him. And to have the arc end with her refusing to kill him. It's
it is
the best character work they've ever done. And JJ got to do it. Oh my God. I loved it so much.
I think the Tara stuff was wonderful as well.
Oh, the whole the whole, not just the Tara episode, but right? All of the previous Tara stuff they had done with her and Rebecca before the episode Tara.
Yep.
I thought it was fantastic. Tara has a great year.
It was, yes. And I think that if we was to say anything, that the focus was on making that work.
100%.
And
I think they had their eyes on
writing,
the character stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
100%. I agree with you on that.
And so consequently, what happens is that
some of the plotting stuff suffered
as a result. Because
yeah, no, you're right.
I can see why you don't want to make Amy Garcia the murderer. I really do. I understand that.
Look, by the way, I'm going to tell everybody, she only started watching Lucifer during, she started watching Lucifer, around episode 8 of Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
So it's she only just found out about Lucifer and the divine Miss Lopez.
Yeah.
Who, very much the same kind of person, right?
Even down, I'm sure it's her personal crucifix.
Yeah, I know she's wearing the same cross as she did in Lucifer.
In Lucifer, right?
I know. The running gag on Miss Lucifer is in a show where the devil is walking around and there's angels everywhere. There's only one vocal Christian in the entire show.
Yeah.
And it's Miss Lopez, and she's amazing.
And she loses her faith at one point, but gets it back.
And then Lucifer starts a charity in her name, but he never bothered to learn her first name, so it's the Miss Lopez charity. So we love Lucifer, in case it wasn't clear. We adore that show. And hey, Sheila adores it, having mainlined the entire show in 3 weeks. Or 4 weeks. Some crazy short amount of time, which bravo to you. But yeah, she was delightful, and we didn't want her to be the killer, and she wasn't the killer. But that led to, something real bad happening.
Yeah.
We should have, and again, they could have used our, what do you call it? They could have used our expectations and our love for that character against us by all through the end of episode 9, making us think she was the killer.
Yeah.
And then have it be revealed, no, it was Tessa the whole time. Oh, that character you thought was one of the victims one of the tragic victims, just like the woman that he kidnapped to do his therapy with and handed over to yeah, I know.
That part of it was just gorgeous.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bringing her back and showing what had happened to her and getting her the closure she needed. Chef's kiss, brilliant scene.
Yep, I agree.
Sure. And again, I still really want to compliment them for redoing The Girl in the Blue Mask, the worst episode of Criminal Minds Suspect Behavior, and making it a good episode of television. Except for, the part where the girl dies of being a tragic heroine in a Gothic novel. Where she's perfectly fit and able to function and everything right up until the moment she has to die tragically in the hero's arms. I will say, though, if we're talking about who was well served, a lot of characters are very well served this year. Who was not well served? Why, it's the character who has never once been served well, Luke Galvez. Just like, I love him. I'm not criticizing the character. I'm never going to criticize this character. I love him. I've loved the actor from Roswell to CSI Miami and now to Criminal Minds. They still don't have anything for this man to do. For how many years now have they not had anything for this man to do? It's crazy, right?
Yeah, well, he does get to direct a lot.
He does, and I love it when he directs, but my point is, when is this character going to get a storyline?
It's funny, eh?
When is he going to get a storyline? It's just, it never happens. It's crazy the way this man never gets storylines.
I don't know.
I don't get it. Everybody else is getting a storyline. Like, is he just such a chill dude that he never reminds anybody, Luke could be doing a little more? Is he just like, is the actor just so nice about it and he's just happy to be there directing that he doesn't say, I could get a plot line, just putting it out there.
Yeah, it's funny, eh? Because even his romantic interests never go anywhere. Nope. Where's his dog?
Where's his dog? Well, no, you know what? I've said before what I want him to do, and I stand by what I want him to do. And they still have the opportunity to do this. What they tried to do with Joe and, Ashley.
Okay.
Do that with Luke and Voight's daughter. Huh. They started going down that road in season 2. And then we haven't gotten any follow-up on it. I say do that. That you want a great, really meaty arc for Luke to dig into? Do that. I think it'd be fantastic. Make him this surrogate father who can explain, Voight's stuff and be a healthy influence on her and keep her from ending up becoming a monster like her dad. I think that would be a fantastic arc for him and a fantastic arc for her.
Hope they're listening to us.
Hope they listen to that one. Because it's what they wanted to do with Ashley in season 6, 7, whenever Ashley was on the show. It's not like we have a great idea about that. But yeah, it's what they wanted, but they never really got the chance to because, well, we all know what a disaster that season was.
Yeah.
We're all aware of what a mess that season of television was. And they were being forced to do stuff behind the scenes. It was a complete mess. No one wanted to be doing this stuff. We don't blame them, obviously. But, it wasn't a season of television it should have been. But now they have a chance to organically make that happen. And it wouldn't have to be the whole season. We could just do 3 scenes in a year of him checking in with her and us learning what is it like, because we all know what Ashley wanted to be, which is, well, what's it like being Dennis Rader's daughter?
Yeah,
because Dennis Rader's daughter wrote that book.
Yep.
Right. And now they have a chance to they never had a chance to dig into this unbelievably fascinating field, and they could, And Luke would be the perfect way to get involved in it, because Luke fundamentally is such a
chill guy.
Well, yes, he's such a good man in every way. Like, no one has ever questioned Luke's decency. Has anyone ever questioned Luke's decency and wholesomeness that you've ever thought of for a second?
You'll have to check out whether he says the swear word.
I know, like, you know what? We're going to come back, soon enough with a real report, an actual report on who swore the most. And I'm making my prediction now. I think Luke swears the least of the main characters. I think of all the main characters, my prediction is Luke swears the least.
Okay.
But he seems so fundamentally decent.
Yeah.
And he always has. There's been this fundamentally decent core to Luke as a person. And that's why, we all know our feelings about Derek Morgan. We have spent plenty of time talking about. That's why it was so refreshing. And because he is so sweet, and because he is so fundamentally decent, and because he has this righteousness to him, like, that's why all of his scenes with Garcia have been so magnificent. But if we're going to be getting more, and we did get a lot more of it this year, Garcia and Tyler, who are a fantastic double team.
Yeah.
Right? It comes at the loss of all of these extra Luke and Garcia scenes. And I think an amazing solution to give Luke something to do is do the Ashley stuff, but with Voight's daughter and Luke. It would give them a chance to explore something. And how much of this show has been going back to stuff that they had wanted to do and never been able to pull off because of the limitations of being an episodic CBS procedural? How much of Evolution has been about saying, let's explore this stuff we always wanted a chance to explore, but the nature of the show we were making meant we never could.
Yeah.
And so you were never able to do the Dennis Rader's daughter stuff. Do the Dennis Rader's daughter stuff, and do it with Luke, the character who it makes the most sense to have do it. Yeah. I think that would be a fantastic arc they could give him.
Yep.
So yeah, I think he's the only one who's underserved. Luke hasn't had a lot to do this year, or last year, or the year before that. Like, Luke's biggest moment in the last 3 years was finding out that there was a bunch of AI porn of JJ, and then for some reason telling her.
Yeah.
Like,
and then they even go, so here she is in crisis mode. Where does she go? Back to this obsession, right?
I loved, though. I did love
the
first scene. It is exactly what she would do.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
100%.
I don't think that sometimes, when I'm talking about it.
Oh, yeah, it's a criticism. You're right.
It's not a criticism.
I should not have interpreted it that way. You're absolutely
it's not a criticism. It's just.
But we didn't mention that her arc starts, her amazing arc that AJ Cook gets this year, starts with her putting the fear of BAU Gate to death, to bed. Right? Yeah. Because it starts with that scene where she's terrified that someone is showing her son a picture of AI porn of her. Yeah. And then she's like, no, it's a news article about her saving a life. And we're like, oh, thank God. Right?
But it just shows how
it's haunting her.
How it haunts her. And she would have been better off if Luke had never told her.
Of course she would have been better off. Luke had never told her.
And if she had. And then she became obsessed with it. And then when she gets upset, the one thing that I would say, and definitely, okay, here's the thing. This is JJ.
Yeah.
And when she says at the funeral, I don't know how I'm going to do this without you. And that's it. And she's always at the office because she doesn't want to go home.
Exactly.
And so she's got her mother and her mother-in-law taking care of the boys.
Yeah.
And
the rest of the season is about her getting to a point where she can, live again. That's why I loved her arc this year.
Yeah.
Because that after she settles things with Voight, she's going to be able to go home. I really feel like it. That's why I loved that scene so much.
Well, I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right too.
Yeah. This is what we want for her. Whether we'll get it or not, it's always,
But she can kill Voight, and she can get away with it.
Yeah.
Like she did. I mean, she has more of an excuse to kill Voight than she did the cryo killer when she executed him.
Yeah.
Right? But the fact is, and he wants her to do it, but she's like, no. We have to be able to change, and we have to be able to get better. And that's as much to her as it is to him.
Yeah. And you have to live with this for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Oh, loved it. You don't get off that easy.
No.
Oh my God. I mean, we're always going to have criticisms for plot, right? Plot's hard to write.
Yeah.
Plot's hard to write. But what in a way is harder to write is stuff that really well serves characters with this much history.
Yep.
Because this is characters with so much history. And the accomplishments they have made in serving this many characters so
long. Yeah. For so long.
So long and so well. Better. Yeah. And again, it's some of the best character work we've ever had. And I mean, I know we said it at the time. I'm going to say it again. David Rossi is on Wellbutrin. Maybe raw dogging his way through hallucinations wasn't the most healthy way to...
And he finally figured it out.
And he's still good at his job. Because it gets away from... No, but it gets away from this insane idea that so many shows try to promote, that no, your character disorders are what make you good at your job. That we hear over and over again from fiction as a way for characters to say, well, of course I get to act like an asshole. I'm great at my job. The cornerstone of, by the way, the cornerstone of 2000s thinking. I get to be an asshole because I'm good at my job.
Yeah, and
whether it's Mad Men or Breaking Bad or Dr. House or Rick and Morty.
I hate Dr. House.
Yes. And you look at Sherlock. Wasn't Sherlock that? No, because Sherlock is forever being called on his stuff.
Yep.
And he gets better he gets more healthy over the course of the show.
Yeah.
No one ever agrees that he has to be an asshole, that he gets an excuse for being an asshole because he's a genius. Never once does anyone agree to that premise on the show Sherlock.
Yeah.
Watson endlessly pushes back on him, and Watson wins.
Yep.
I love Sherlock. I mean, even Rick on Rick and Morty has gone to therapy. We're not in the age of the problematic man anymore. People don't get a pass for being just because they're a genius.
Yeah.
That era is over.
We hope. I'm not convinced yet.
No, maybe
I'll
not
have
yet.
to see a hell of a lot more.
Watch that Superman movie, and you may be a little more convinced.
Well, no, I mean, and I just found my 2 free passes, so.
Oh, great. You're going to go see Superman
ago.
This week. Good, yeah. All right, you're going to go see Superman this week. I'm very
Yep.
excited. Superman movie's great, by the way, in case you haven't seen the Superman movie. We'll probably talk about it on a Sunday show after she's seen it.
Yeah. We'll do another political run.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I think, what happens is that if I was to say anything, it's just the disappointment at not being effective in The Disciple, not being as effective as they could. As I said, we felt
because we haven't even talked about the murders of the week, which I thought were genuinely really good all year.
Oh yeah, no, we have no problem with the murders of the week as such. I mean, a little gory, but that's to be expected.
Hey, you know what? There was no piranha tank this year.
Yeah, there was no piranha tank. But oh my God!
But my God, the women who were skinned. Oh my God.
Oh, that was just...
Yeah, it was hard to watch. I knew it was coming this time, and it was so hard to watch.
it was still hard. That one was just so hard. And I mean, and look, the all of the conversations. So, I mean, because our disappointment with how ineffective the end was in terms of the disciple, it for us was a problem. Yeah. Okay. And then that's just going to affect, as I told you,
our feelings about the whole season.
You can have a lousy season. And if you pull it off at the end, everybody forgets. It's like a movie.
Everything.
This is what I tell everybody. And it works the other way too.
Yeah.
That if somehow or another you don't manage to just nail it,
stick the landing, it doesn't matter how great. Hey, you can have the best flight in the world. If you crash while you're landing, that's all people are going to remember.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, the TV show Lost.
Oh God, I watched Manifest. Actually, I skipped the last two. Like I skipped the last sort of year
of Manifest,
year and a little bit, and I just went right to the end,
right to the finale, because it's gotten so questionable. Okay.
Well, no, and the ending was quite. I was really happy with the last episode, so that was okay. But I didn't need to watch Angelina.
Do you know who stuck the landing that you wouldn't have predicted was going to?
Who?
Miami Vice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a 2-part episode where they do Noriega. Like, Noriega is going to testify against the cartels if people get him out of Panama, which is about to have a revolution. And by the way, Ian McShane as Noriega.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And it's just like an entire episode about, the CIA manipulating all this and about how the CIA is fine, getting drugs into America because it helps their anti-communist manipulation of Central and South America.
Oh.
Like, it is just, the last 2 episodes of Miami Vice are kind of an indictment of the entire show, Miami Vice.
Yes, well, we love, why do we love Michael Mann?
That's why we love Michael Mann, and I mean, you can really say, like, Crime Story walked so Wise Guy could run, which was our take on Wise Guy, and I think that is arguable. And Miami Vice is how we got Crime Story. Is like how we got the pieces necessary to be able to do Crime Story. So yeah, like Miami Vice will always have a fond place in my heart now because we had that. But yeah, stuck the landing very much. And this season does not stick the landing fundamentally. Season 1 of Evolution, now we don't even think of it as Criminal Minds Evolution anymore. We just think of it as season 16 through 18. I understand why they did the branding, but we all know what it is. Season 16 stuck the landing. Season 17 stuck the landing. And that was a hard thing to pull off.
Yes.
But they pulled it off. That last episode about Bailey's brother, like they pulled it off. They closed that circle really well. Season 18 doesn't stick the landing. It's because she comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I think what happens, and I do think what I said before, that they did so well with everything else.
The whole year. It throws into stark relief when such a key element of the plot is botched, because so much of the rest of the season is so well done.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah. No, I agree. All of this, as we say, the Tara stuff, and Evans coming back.
Yep.
And so all of it works. Mm-hmm. It's just I needed more.
Yeah.
I just needed it to work, that one to work. And
yeah. And like I said, my structure for how they could have done it, 2, 5, 7.
Yeah.
And then boom, reveal in 9.
And I still think a lot of it has to do with being so focused on the people.
Yeah.
Rather than, that part.
They were closing. See your point.
Yeah. They were closing off the Voight thing, sort of.
Yeah, I think they did.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
canonically, well,
it depends on how you read that last. It's how you read his last vision. Again. Yeah.
No, it's not like we're not going to see him. No, but I'm saying the storyline about the the unit. Oh my God, about the network. That's done.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Now,
Yeah,
we are going to see more of Voight's journey, but the network storyline is over.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we all agree
Yeah.
that that is definitely what they were saying with the end of the episode.
Yeah.
You know, it was not, and by the way, I think they did it much more organically. And by the having Voight shut down his own network by putting a trace so they could get everybody is the best way to do it.
Yeah. And because this doesn't mean, and besides, always remember he can start it up again if he wants to. It's not like if he can't. You know, it all depends. An
impossibility. Yeah.
It all depends. I mean, jail is not going to be, he's now going into maximum
security, presumably.
Security. I suspect he will not be hung or whatever the
not going to get the death penalty. No.
Because the federal government, I think, still has the death penalty. Only for treason, though. Yeah. So you can't call him.
They have death. There's other federal crimes you get death penalty for.
Yeah. And I would assume he's one of them.
Oh, yeah. I just don't know that he's going to be getting the death penalty.
I don't think so. You know, I mean, I can't imagine.
I suspect he won't be getting the death penalty.
No. So,
but you know what? That's something we're going to see. It's entirely up to them. They're the ones shooting the show.
Yeah.
They're the ones making the show right now. So yeah, we're going to find out next year. But yeah, here's the thing. It is weird how much having not a good ending can affect like your feelings about a season, because there, as we just said, there's stuff in here that is among the best work they've ever done.
Yep.
But when you don't have a great ending, it sours it for audiences. It does.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else. We've never not looked at reviews. I mean, this may be just our particular.
It could just be us.
Bugaboo. Right.
100%. You're right. But it's weird that I can say at the same time that they're doing the best work they've ever done in a lot of respects, and say that this is the least of the 3 return seasons.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. No, it is.
To be able to say that it's like both some of the best work they've ever done and the least of the 3 seasons. I don't
think that's
I think it's weird.
Well, it is kind of weird, but
please.
I just, as I said, I'm just convinced that a lot of this has to do with the fact that they were doing the, they were doing the JJ thing. Because
so much of their focus was on that incredible JJ arc this year.
Yeah. And on, and then doing the Tara.
The Tara plot line.
And doing that. I mean, for sure, all of those were satisfactory. More than satisfactory. They were brilliant. I was very happy with them. Even if I can have little quips here and there.
Poems here and there, yeah.
One can have, but I don't think that there's nothing really to complain about.
Yeah.
On that front. And I think it's just okay. And the killers of the week were fine.
The killers of the week were great.
Yeah, no, they were great.
I really liked all the killers of the week.
I shouldn't say they were fine because I mean, they were, some of them were innovative. I mean, putting the charges in the Undertaker one. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, that monster. Yeah. It was very well done.
Yeah. And so you're not going to sort of hear a lot of complaints from us about that part of it. But
no,
it just is.
A bad ending can sour you on the whole thing. And that is our big takeaway. And that's what we want people to remember. The ending is so important.
It was. And it's because they were ending the
Void arc?
The Void arc.
Yeah.
Too.
So you really want to stick that landing.
And that's just, okay, was this going to be satisfactory for us? Well, it should have been, but.
It could have been. If they had introduced her because again, like the actual mechanical details of who the character was and how it ties into Voight's backstory and how they knew Cyrus.
Yeah.
Like, all of that plays, man. It's just because it comes as a complete surprise that this character exists, it makes it feel like a cheat. Right? Because the thing is, I went back when I was watching it, right? I was like, are there any clues?
No, that's what I was looking for.
This is all about a connection to Cyrus, and there just aren't, you know? Like, yeah, at the end, when they say she was trapped in hell and that's why she why the no mask is so important to her, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, she was trapped in hell. That is what is important to her, but that doesn't set up the connection.
Okay, wait a sec. There was one place where I thought, and now I'm going to have to kind of
check.
Here, it's in, what did I say? I wrote, it's in episode 7.
Okay.
And there was something in episode 7 that made me go, okay, if you had followed through, Cyrus.
What are you thinking about?
Well, they were saying when Voight was talking about, I'm trying to remember now, that there was some little thing. Cyrus, I wrote here.
I'm excited to find out.
Cyrus had, and I'm thinking it's no one he told.
This is the problem with writing handwriting notes.
Oh yeah, handwritten notes. Yeah, I should have typed all of this out because I'm trying to figure it out. But I figured in episode, never mind. Which one was episode 7?
That's the one where Tara got shot. The Undertaker? Let me check.
No, well, the one where Tara is.
Tara got shot.
Where she has her discovery moment.
No, it's the one with where Tara gets shot and then they chase down the oh my god. Sorry, this is so embarrassing. So 6 is the Undertaker and 7 is
Tara.
No, 7 is the one with the wait, is Tara the same? The one where Tara gets shot is the same episode with the spider mouth guy, right?
Okay, yeah.
Which would make 7 the Undertaker. What is the note you've got written down?
I just have 7, and it has something to do with Cyrus that I thought somebody said something. I should have written it all down. Somebody said something that I said, well, why didn't the team go with that now? Okay. You don't have it up still, right?
I'm opening it right now so we can all find out together exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah, if we can just figure out which one it was.
Okay, 7 is it's the 7 is okay, there we go. Yeah, 6 is Undertaker, 7 is spiders in the mouth, and the hallucinations of Cyrus.
Okay, and Cyrus. Yeah. So it must be something that Cyrus said in all of that.
Okay.
Anyway, never mind. I'll figure it out.
She'll figure it out later, and we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I think our feelings about the episode are pretty clear.
Yeah, and no, there's nothing else. It's just that I thought, okay, if you were going to look for something, maybe that was one little place where you could say, shoulda, coulda.
Right.
But it was so minuscule.
Yeah.
That I wrote it off and didn't remember it. I should have written it out more. I was just little sticky notes. So I'll go watch episode 7 and see what I think. And I thought, because you said 2, 5, and then 9. Yeah.
2, 5, 7, 9.
Yeah. Okay. So 7 is one of the places. Yeah, where you suggested they put her in.
You make her one of the people who get kidnapped.
Yeah, and I think I'll figure that one out. But it doesn't matter because it wasn't like big enough that anybody could have, unless the team. And I then remember during the run, I have given them a couple of times when you've gotten teed off about things and said, yes, but they're running around so much that,
Yeah.
and this is part of whoever the disciple is, their MO.
Well, technically, sorry,
them.
it would have been 2679 because Brutal Man is episode 5. So,
okay, so
she would have been
26.
brought in. She would have been
Yeah.
brought in during the Undertaker case to
Yeah.
follow up on information that they had gotten from the Brutal Man.
Okay, yeah.
That is why she, so it would have been 26. Then she would have been kidnapped in 7, and they would have rescued her a second time. And then in 9, they would have realized she was one of the targets and tried to protect her, thought she was dead, and then she would be revealed as the villain at the end of 9.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how it would have worked.
Yeah. So anyway, so, and I kept saying yes, but they're all running on tilt, right?
Yeah, that is what it is.
And that's partly so they're not really seeing things correctly.
Yeah.
And I gave them a pass for some things that we were talking about.
Oh, absolutely.
And because the team is on tilt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
It's
anyway.
Definitely. Yeah. But like I said, not the best of the
the reboot.
It's this weird seasons of not the best of the return seasons, but some of the best work of the return seasons.
Yeah, which is just bizarre.
Weird place to be, but it's I think
where we are.
What we're talking about. Yeah. All right, so that's that. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if there's any profiling related fiction you'd like us to check out, drop us a line at profilingcriminalminds@gmail.com. We would love to hear your thoughts about season 18. If you are listening on an app podcatcher or watching on YouTube, rate, review, and subscribe. That's how people find out about the show. We're going to be back next week with, I guess it's finally time to talk about Dirt. I know, crazy. It seems so long ago we started that, but we're going to talk about Dirt for the next 2 weeks, and then it's back to Profiler with season 3 of Profiler.
Yep.
Should be a blast.
On Thursdays again.
On Thursdays, back on Thursdays.
Yep.
We'll see you back here for that, and then we'll be after Profiler wraps up and it's looking like October. We're going to throw in a couple other shows, talk about, Department Q, other stuff.
Yeah.
As we all get ramped up for the Year of Dexter.
The Year of Dexter. Oh.
The Year of Dexter, 2026.
With a break from horror to of season 19 of Criminal Minds.
Well, yeah, of course we're going to break for season 19 of Criminal Minds. We're not monsters. All right, so we'll see you back here for that. But until then, I'll say that's right. Au revoir.
And have a good week.